Worst women's champions in WB history, ranked. WWE has crowned several women's champions in their history that weren't worthy of the belts they held. These are the worst champions. Women's wrestling has come a long way to become what it is today. In the past, female wrestlers were treated differently compared to their male counterparts. They were regularly booked in gimmicked matches that barely surpassed 5 minutes instead of the 20-minute classics that we see today. Having 2 women's matches on the WrestleMania card was considered a big deal. While the WWE Championship was constantly contested in the main event of major PPVs, the Women's and Divas Championships, however, were defended in dismal matches such as the evening gown and bra and panties match. With every great champion such as Trish Stratus, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, there are mediocre ones who failed to make an impact with their title reign. 10. Nia Jax's title reign wasn't that memorable. Title held, Raw Women's Championship. Nia Jax captured her first championship in WWE after defeating Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania 34. She held the Raw Women's Championship for 3 months before losing it back to Bliss at Money in the Bank after the latter cashed in her contract. Nia Jax's title reign wasn't very memorable. The only thing people remember about her run was her title defense against Ronda Rousey, which was actually a good match. Another issue concerning Jax's big victory at WrestleMania was her relation to The Rock. The unfortunate thing about the wrestling business is that even if a wrestler gets to the top on their own, their career will always be clouded because they have a relative who is a big star in the company. Nia Jax went on to capture her second title with Shayna Baszler after the duo won the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Not to say it's been great, but it's much better than her run with the Raw Women's Championship. 9. Kelly's in-ring talent was lacking. Title held, Divas Championship. Kelly had the looks to be a star, but her lack of in-ring talent is what prevented her from reaching the same success as other blonde bombshells, such as Trish Stratus and Beth Phoenix. Her matches often came across as too choreographed, and she could barely even hit the ropes properly, let alone partake in a competitive-looking bout. Despite these flaws, Kelly was still pushed by the company and was awarded the Divas Championship. During her title run, she defeated Brie Bella at Money in the Bank in under 5 minutes and Beth Phoenix in just over 6 minutes on 2 consecutive PPVs in 2011. She eventually lost the Divas title to Phoenix at Hell in a Cell, ending her 3+ months reign. The following year, the bikini model went on a hiatus before being released from her contract. 8. Eve Torres never made a major impact in any of her title reigns. Title held, Divas Championship. Eve Torres had similar flaws with Kelly. Before she joined WWE, she worked as a model and dancer and was recruited as part of the Divas Search competition in 2007. Her matches were also unimpressive, owing to her inexperience in the ring. She won her first Divas Championship on Raw in 2010 by defeating Maryse and successfully defended it in a 5-minute bout at WW Over the Limit. She lost it to Alicia Fox on the following PPV in a fatal 4-way match. Eve Torres set a record by becoming the first ever 3-time Divas champion, but she failed to make a big impact with all 3 title reigns. 7. Candice Michelle was very green while champion. Title held, WWE Women's Championship. Candice Michelle is another female superstar who was hired simply because of her looks, and not because of anything that has to do with wrestling. We know this for a fact because she was still very green in the ring. She took part in a lot of pillow fights and lingerie matches, which didn't give her any credibility or legitimacy as an in-ring competitor. Her appearance on the GoDaddy commercial, which aired nationwide during the Super Bowl in 2005, gave her a ton of exposure, which WWE unsurprisingly capitalized on. She was pushed to be the face of the women's division and won the Women's Championship by defeating Melina at Vengeance 2007. She held the title for 105 days, though she failed to put on a solid match during her time defenses. 6. Alicia Fox was underrated but had a poor title reign. Title held, Divas Championship. Alicia Fox is arguably one of the most underrated female superstars in WWE history. Although she's a better wrestler than most of the names on this list, her run with the Divas Championship, however, was also unsatisfactory. WWE tried to push her to the top when she wasn't ready yet. They put the Divas Championship on her in 2010, but she only held it for a month. Her title reign was very forgettable. She went on to drop the belt to Melina at SummerSlam, who achieved more success in WWE compared to Alicia Fox. 5. Jillian Hall was only a transitional champion. Title held, Divas Championship. Jillian Hall had the most disappointing Divas Championship reign out of everyone on this list. Her reign was so short that she couldn't even make it back to the locker room after winning the title. She had a gimmick as a bad singer, which succeeded because she was terrible at singing. That's why it was shocking when a comedic wrestler such as Jillian beat Mickie James, one of the best female WWE stars, to win her first title. She was simply a transitional champion though, as WWE wanted to put the title on Melina without pitting the latter with Mickie James. Jillian Hall lost the title just 5 minutes after winning it, setting the record for the shortest Divas Championship reign ever. 4. Stephanie McMahon's women's title reign was weak. Title held, WWE Women's Championship. Stephanie McMahon is a strong advocate for women's wrestling today. 2 decades ago, though, the company had to put aside top female wrestlers such as Ivory and Jacqueline to give the billion-dollar princesses a run with Women's Championship, a title she didn't deserve at all. She wasn't even a wrestler, yet she held it for 146 days. She only defended it twice during her entire run, both times against WWE Hall of Famer Lita, whom she dropped it to in her second title defense. Although the whole McMahon-Helmsley regime was over with fans, we can't say the same for Stephanie's title reign. 3. Deborah won the title in a terrible way. Title held, WWE Women's Championship. Deborah was another female star who was given a championship even though she completely sucked at wrestling. She won the Women's Championship from the highly popular Star Sable in an evening gown match because there was no way both stars could compete in a traditional wrestling match. Although Sable didn't lose the match, Shawn Michaels, the commissioner, awarded the title to Deborah because she lost her dress first. Deborah held the title for a month before losing it to Ivory. Her reign was very disappointing and one of the worst of all time. 2. The Cat just cosplayed as Chyna. Title held, WWE Women's Championship. Stacey the Cat Carter was part of a dark time in WWE during the infamous Attitude Era. She cosplayed as Chyna and held the Women's Championship for 50 days. The Cat captured the belt in a 4-corner evening gown match on Monday Night Raw. She defended the title in matches such as chocolate pudding, swimming pool, and swimsuit contests. She even took part in a segment where her bare breasts were exposed to the world. She lost the title in another gimmicked match to the worst women's champion in history. Harvey Wippleman's reign showed no respect for the title. Title held, WWE Women's Championship. To make matters worse, the worst women's champion ever wasn't even a woman. The debuting Hervina, who was actually Harvey Wippleman in women's clothing, defeated the Cat in a dreadful Lumberjill Snow Bunny match. This made the women's division look like an even bigger joke than it already was. Instead of Hervina being stripped of the title, he was still allowed to carry it for a week, until he eventually lost it to Jacqueline on Raw in a short-lived match. Looking back at this moment, we're truly lucky to be living in an era where female wrestlers are respected.